A federal judge has ruled on whether or not Donald Trump can deny asylum to migrants who come into the country illegally. And that judge has decided that he's gonna go ahead and block Trump's efforts to ban these migrants from getting asylum. So the Justice Department and Department of Homeland Security previously had published a joint rule prohibiting certain people caught crossing the US southern border from Mexico between ports of entry from claiming asylum. Now, the way the law works right now, and I wanna make sure everyone's clear on this, we were a little unclear because it's a complicated law. Even if there is an undocumented individual in the country already, let's say someone came in with a tourist visa and then they overstayed their visa, then they get caught, they're still able to apply for asylum. They can claim to immigration officials that they are in fear of their lives or for their lives, and they want to stay in the United States so they don't get targeted by whomever. And they will have the right to apply for asylum. Trump wanted to ban that from happening moving forward. So a federal judge comes in and says, no, you can't ban that. They have the right to seek asylum, they can apply. In fact, the judge, who was an Obama appointee, Judge Jon Tigar, says, whatever the scope of the president's authority, he may not rewrite the immigration laws to impose a condition that Congress has expressly forbidden. Asylum seekers will be put at increased risk of violence and other harms at the border, and many will be deprived of meritorious asylum claims. The government offers nothing in support of the new rule that outweighs the need to avoid these harms.
So there's two parts to this story. One is the logic behind the law, and the other is the fact that the law exists. So the logic behind it is, let's say that you're suffering persecution in a country, North Korea. You escape one of their detention camps, and they have millions of people locked up in those gulags, and you made it out of there somehow, and you got to the US. But you entered illegally. You didn't have the proper visa or the paperwork, whether you came on a plane or by foot, right? We don't just send you back and go, I'm sorry, you entered illegally, don't care. Go back to the gulag, right? Or you're in fear for your life from a fundamentalist government or a dictatorial government. Or like say, for example, Saudi Arabia is gonna behead you and dismember you and put you into a suitcase, okay? But you got here, but hey, you know what? Your papers aren't right, or you crossed in the wrong part of the border, right? We don't send you back, we give you asylum normally. And there's good reason for that, because that's the whole point of asylum. Isn't, hey, you get to stay here for no reason, or hey, you wanted a job, or you even wanted hope for your family. No, that doesn't count. Asylum is a technical definition. You're escaping from another country that is got oppressive conditions where your life is literally in danger, okay? Now whether you agree with that or not, and I guess there's some people immoral enough to say, yeah, I don't care if their life is in danger. I don't care about anything. I don't care if you're gonna send them back to a gulag. This is America and I don't like those people, right? For whatever reason, I don't like them, okay? I don't want them here. And yeah, okay, we saved his life, but then the guy might take my job. I don't want him, okay? Okay, you're that guy. But it doesn't matter. The law is the law. You didn't win on that. In a democracy, we have a system of government where Congress passes the laws, the president signs them, and then we abide by those laws. In fact, Donald Trump ran his campaign on the rule of law. Well, the judge here is pointing out the president can't unilaterally undo a law passed by Congress. That is the most elementary thing in our form of government. And the same right-wingers who said, I can't believe Obama's doing things through executive orders, are now turning around saying, who cares about the three branches of government and that Congress has to pass a law and the president can't just revoke a law. Who cares about the rule of law? I just don't like those people. So I just want to get rid of the law that clearly exists on the books,
right?
And have the president ignore it and in essence be a dictator who says, I don't care what your Congress passed. I will do whatever I like off the top of my head. Well,
right.
Here's the court system going, no, that's not how our government works.
And I think that this is important, this ruling was important in maintaining our democratic process, democratic system. So even if you don't care about the issue, as Cenk mentioned, in regard to immigration and whether or not we allow people to apply for asylum, really the heart of the matter here has to do with maintaining and preserving the way our government is supposed to work, the checks and balances and how they're supposed to protect citizens and protect laws that we currently have on the books. And so I like the fact that the judge really emphasized the importance of Congress, its role, and how Trump can't just come in and undo something unless there is an imminent threat to the United States if he does it in the name of national security. In this case, it was just a punitive action against people he doesn't like, and also an effort to gain brownie points among his base.
And to try to drive out the vote, et cetera.
Yeah.
Look, and last thing is that it's not that we don't get that it costs us money, it does. So, we're not naive thinking that everybody who crosses the border either through a port of entry or through a place that's not a port, it all deserve asylum. They don't. No, they don't. That's why we have a process where we adjudicate whether they actually do deserve asylum or not. And most people do not make it through that process and they are sent back. So yes, having that process costs us a little bit of money. But what it does is it preserves our dignity and America being a shining city on a hill, where if another government is trying to kill you or oppress you, for your religion, for your ethnicity, for anything else, for any other reason, for your political opinion, we will protect you, even though it costs us a little bit of money to do that. If we say, nah, we're throwing that in the garbage, we don't care anymore. It costs money. I don't want to do court cases to adjudicate things. Judges, I don't like that. I'm just going to say, send them all back, no matter what we're sending them back to. Okay, well then, your position is clear. I don't agree with it. The overwhelming majority of the American people don't agree with it. And your position at this point is irrelevant. You should lobby Congress to repeal that law. That's how this country works. And if you don't like it, ironically, you can get out. Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.